What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about Venom number 21 by Donny Cates and one of my favorite artists from when I was reading Spider-Man as a young lad, Mark Bagley. One of the greatest artists, probably one of my top 10, top 5 greatest artists in the history of comics, Marvel or otherwise. Mark Bagley used to draw the Amazing Spider-Man comics, used to pencil for them back in the day, back in the 90s. A lot of people may remember his work during Maximum Carnage and even all the stuff that was before that and even after that. He had a very iconic style, and I'm so glad to see that him and Donny Cates are working together on this title, because we're also going to be kind of going over how this new Venom arc, Venom has disappeared off the face of the planet. No one knows where he is. We now know where he is. And in this video, we are going to talk about how this issue, how this kickoff for Venom Island actually ties back to an old issue of Amazing Spider-Man number 347, and why Venom turned down joining the Avengers. But first, we got to hit that intro.
Word to wise, grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple eyes. You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
Before we get started, if you want to see more awesome comic book videos like this one, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click. All right, now let's talk about Venom number 21. In this book, man, there's a lot going on. This is direct fallout from Absolute Carnage. Eddie is trying to get his shit together, and it is not really working out, because at the end of it all, he keeps seeing things, he keeps hearing things. It all starts with him getting an invitation to go meet with the Avengers. We don't get told this immediately, but that's eventually where he's going to go. He's being taken to Avengers Mountain, and right now, it's kind of a weird time for all this to be going on, because not only has he just recently kind of gotten his stride back, as being Eddie Brock, not only is he, kind of getting back on his feet, he's living with Liz Allen and Normie Osborn, little Normie Osborn, and he's got Dylan and Sleeper with him and all the other chicanery that comes along with that. And right now, his relationship with Dylan is just very tense. Dylan is being very standoffish with him now, and it's one of those things. It's just like, okay, well, all right, where is this going to go next? But the problem is when Eddie goes to meet with the Avengers, Captain America introduces him to the rest of the team, and the rest of the team, they're debating whether or not they want Eddie on the squad. That's right, Venom is being offered an opportunity to join the Avengers, full stop. Just become a card-carrying member. He is getting ready to be offered the chance of a lifetime. Something that I think Eddie himself has always thought was never possible. He has a chance right now to not only be side by side with Captain America, but Iron Man, She-Hulk, Black Panther, Thor, Captain Marvel, Ghost Rider, and Blerd. And these are all people he has at some point in time or another either, maybe temporarily aligned himself with, or in some way, shape, form, or fashion has gone to battle with, and now he has a chance to be alongside them. But the thing is, they're not really sure if they even want him to be on the team, because they know something big is coming with Knull, no different than they did with the entire vampire uprising, which is why Black Panther brought Blerd along. The whole thing going on with Mephisto right now is kind of part of the reason why Ghost Rider is there. And now with Knull on the way, they know they need another big gun. So why not bring in a guy who is an expert on Knull, at least as much as an expert as anyone could possibly be on a god from beyond the cosmos that no one knows about but him. And right now, they are giving him this opportunity, but it comes at the worst possible time, because at this moment, right when his dream is about to be accomplished, Carnage starts taking over. And this isn't Cletus Kasady. This is not the essence of Cletus. This is just the Carnage symbiote. It is trying to take him over, and it is going to war in his mind with the Venom symbiote. The Venom symbiote is unable to hold him off. And though Eddie is able to save a little bit of face, the Avengers aren't really sure what to think of him. I mean, of course, we got a few of them that know what to think of him. Captain Marvel and She-Hulk, they're like, but I'm just saying, the rest of them don't really know what to think, but they have given him, Captain America at the very least, have given him a way to contact the Avengers should Venom need their help. And some of you may or may not remember back at the very beginning of Marvel Fresh Start with Venom, Venom was using pills to kind of shut out the symbiote, to keep it from going off in his head. And what he's doing is he's going back to those same pills from Venom #1 of last year. And when he does this, this basically kind of separates him and cuts him off from hearing not just the Carnage symbiote, but the Venom symbiote as well. And it doesn't really do him any favors, because all he winds up doing is having nightmares about, Knull and what's going to happen to Dylan. And I think these dreams are very prophetic. I've said before in Absolute Carnage that something is going to happen. If Dylan survives Absolute Carnage, which he did, I just kind of had this feeling that he is probably a piece. He's a piece in the puzzle to Knull that Eddie doesn't realize yet. I feel like Dylan is the opposite. He is Knull's counterbalance in all this. But not only is he a counterbalance to Knull, but I also feel like he is a part of Knull. He has to be, because he is in fact a living codex. And what pretty much galvanizes Eddie to get a move on and try to fix what is coming his way, he wakes up in a pool of blood with God is coming scarred into his back. This pushes him to leave and actually contact the Avengers to get a jet from them so that he can go back to where this kind of not necessarily began, but a place where one of his darkest moments actually occurred, and that is the Island of Bones, Isla de Huesos. And that is a place, if those of you may or may not remember, this was a place that was very instrumental in Amazing Spider-Man number 347 by Dave Michelini and Eric Larson. This is the place where, and I've actually kind of briefly glossed over this when we were talking about some of the origins of Carnage, but this is technically the place where Venom kidnapped Spider-Man, brought him to this place, and essentially, well, at least he thought at the time, killed Spider-Man. He killed Spider-Man and decided that his mission was finally done. He could finally be at peace. He could be left alone and live out the rest of his life without having to worry about vengeance or anything of that nature. He stayed on the island even after the fact, and Spider-Man, who was not dead, he literally tricked Venom into thinking that he had killed him when Spider-Man came back to recruit Venom to help him stop Carnage. Venom, up to that point, he literally was just sitting there drinking Mai Tais, hanging out and chilling. Well, now he's going back to where it all began, and the Carnage symbiote realizes this. And Carnage, he causes the plane to crash, and when the plane crashes, because Carnage has taken over the Venom symbiote, he has separated himself from Eddie. So now Eddie is trapped on this island with no symbiote whatsoever. The Carnage symbiote has pretty much completely taken Venom away from Eddie. And right now the Carnage symbiote is talking greasy AF. He is getting spicy. He's smelling himself. He knows that he has Eddie dead to rights. He knows it. He knows there's nothing that Eddie can do to stop him because he's Carnage. And Carnage is nothing if not a mass murdering psychopathic killer, alien or otherwise. And Eddie is just a man. But the thing is, Eddie, and this is one of those moments too where, like, once again, he crash lands on this island and he's dead because the symbiote typically it makes up the clothes that he wears. I also found it really funny that he winds up being all like charred up and blackened and burned up, and he is in this island. He pretty much is channeling Dutch Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator, and I got this feeling that this is going to wind up being a war between this alien Predator monster, this alien Carnage, taking on this kind of a Predator role, hunting down Eddie Brock. All the while, Eddie is going to be hunting him as well. And I'm so excited for this. I really I like it. Like, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant about them going back to the Island of Bones. I was hesitant about what this was gonna do, but nope. Nah, skip. I like it. I like this one. This is great. I am in for it. I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. I've said it on multiple occasions right now that Venom is probably one of the best books, if not the best book Marvel has going today. And yes, that includes the X-Men. That includes everything else, the Avengers, all that stuff. Right now, if it ain't Venom or Immortal Hulk, I don't give a I mean, I like, the X-Men books or whatever for what they're worth, but I kind of feel like they're hitting a weird snag for me right now. And I do love the Captain Marvel book as well, so there are those. But right now, it's Venom or bust, when it comes to some of this other stuff. But anyways, really with everything going on here right now, I am so hyped because I don't know if any, you know this about me, as a person, as a nerd, as a comic reader, as the Blerd without fear, one of my all-time favorite movie franchises in anything is Predator. I grew up on it. It was literally, it's a movie that has been so important to my upbringing, to my childhood, to me as a person. It's a movie that my mother and I bonded over, when I was younger, and it's a movie that I have also passed on to my children. Hell, my daughter was born as we were watching Predator in the hospital. Like literally, Predator was coming on as she was being born. So that's a little tidbit for those who, a little trivia about the Blerd without fear and his family. But anyways, the thing is, I really like where the story is going. It's going back to those roots for Amazing Spider-Man number 347 by Dave Michelini and Eric Larson. It's ticking all the boxes. We're going back to where it all began, the place where Venom himself thought he killed Spider-Man, and a place he stayed even after that. A lot of people tend to forget about the Island of Bones, Isla de Huesos, and I probably said that wrong, but still, point is, that is where he's going. Eddie is trying to get his mind right. He is trying to fix himself, because this is one of those things I think a lot of people didn't really, think about the fact that, at the end of Absolute Carnage, if Eddie absorbs the Carnage symbiote, what did he think was gonna happen? Did he think he was just gonna ride off into the sunset and Carnage, that guy, was not gonna, start wilding out on him at some point? Yeah, Cletus Kasady is dead, but the Carnage symbiote lives on through him. And I'm pretty sure the Carnage symbiote is gonna be looking for a new host, and if I had to make a guess, he's probably gonna do everything he can to break Eddie and make him the new host. Because what better way to bring down your greatest rival than to bring him down to your level? And that's exactly what Cletus has always wanted to do with Eddie Brock. And now, even though Cletus is dead, like I said, even in Absolute Carnage, if Cletus lives and he succeeds in his goal, he wins. Even if Eddie kills him, which he did, Cletus still wins. Dude, it's great. It's great writing. I love what Donny Cates is doing here. It's fantastic. Anyways, let me know what you think about the kickoff for Venom Island so far. Sound off in the comments. So hey, you made it to the end of the video. Awesome for you. If you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, I don't see how you didn't, do me a favor. Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and tap that bell so you know when I post up. Also, feel free to go check out my Patreon, where if you chuck in $1, you can get early access to most of my videos up to a week early. And if you have time, make sure you swing by nerd901.com, where you can find more of my content as well as other amazing stuff. Anyways, until next time, I love you 3000 plus ultra.